Hey everybody, we're going to jump into the next one. And yeah, 1971 world music. We're going to continue that, and it's great. I love hearing these. This is really something that, for me, it's, world music really opened up my playing, opened up, stuff I listened to. It just opened up a whole section of music that just, hits you on a whole different level. From everything else is out there is fantastic, and this is just more of it. So hearing music from Africa, from Jamaica, from South America, Europe and beyond, everywhere. It's so great to hear, a somewhat more individualistic music from those periods and different styles of rhythm and melody and instrumentation. It's wonderful to hear. So we're going to continue that, and this time we are doing more of a. We're not jumping into too much. We're doing 1971, so we're doing music that was somewhat on the scene, but probably didn't get the attention, at the time, limited attention to some degree. So, but we're going to jump into another one, which will be one that everybody's probably familiar with, but this is sort of early stuff. I would say early stuff. This is, I'm trying to see where the time. I would say for me, this sounds like earlier. It's not the earliest, but it is. But we have Bob Marley on an album called Soul Revolution Part 2. And this was with the Wailers, Bob Marley with Peter Tosh and Bunny Livingston, all on vocals, and Peter Tosh on melodica. And then additional musicians, we had Carlton Barrett on drums, Aston Barrett on bass, Glenn Adams on keyboard, and Alva Lewis on guitar. And we're going to jump into this right now, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. This one's a real short one, so I may not do a break on this. It's very short. Here we go.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet, yeah. Make you wanna move your dancing feet now. To the rescue, here I am. Want you to know can you understand? When the morning gather the rainbow, yeah. Want you to know I'm a rainbow too now. To the rescue, here I am. Want you to know can you understand? Sun is shining, the weather is sweet now. Make you wanna move your dancing feet, yeah. But to the rescue, here I am. Want you to know just if you can, here I stand. No. Can you understand me now, baby? Do you believe me?
So yeah, this is an interesting version. I think I got this off of some this may be the original or might be, off the LP. So I've heard, there's obviously tons of labels that probably have this, got rights to this and used it and probably edited it and did certain versions. So that last little flourish, I'm not sure if I've heard before. So, but I try to get everything from the original sources, as best I can. So I'm not getting some different copy or something that was re-engineered or remastered necessarily. Anyway, Yeah, I love that tune is amazing. I love it. It's so because it's one of theirs that obviously there's so many uplifting Bob Marley songs, but what I love about that one is that the mood of it is somewhat morose and sort of mysterious sounding, and I like it too because the lyrics. It's that thing where the music doesn't necessarily fit the lyrics; it just kind of counteracts the mood that the lyrics are sort of accentuating. So the lyrics are very positive. There's like the sun is shining, go dance. The weather is sweet, makes you want to move your dancing feet. I'm a rainbow too, so I'm here to rescue you. Want you to know just if you can where I stand. Yeah, very simple and uplifting and sort of like hopeful. But the music, on the other hand, is so sort of swaying, and it actually reminds me that this time I've heard this before, but this time in particular, especially when that melodica came in, which I never knew what that instrument was, it really reminded me of like a super foggy day, like on a cliff, probably like in wherever Jamaica, but in like Ireland or some cold, rainy, idyllic spot where everything is green, but the fog is just covering everything, and the ship is trying to come in, and it's just sort of swaying. And then the melodica is sort of the sound of the horn, trying to locate, let everybody know where it's at, and it's trying to find the shore. It just sounds so lonely and so isolated and mysterious. So I don't know if I was going to have that in video, have some kind of scene where the ship is, the fog is surrounded, they're trying to find the land, and this music just sort of has that undulating beat, and yeah, it's surprising because it's from a totally different style and genre, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. There's stuff that fits across the board, so it's really cool to, whatever you see, you see. I don't know, for a lot of stuff, it's anything. If there's something visual that you see, I think that's a positive, right? It's great to hear when music can sort of fill in this sort of visual match for what you're feeling inside. Anyway, yeah. Other than that, so yeah, the mood. I love the sort of the beat. It's sort of got this really slow rock, and I guess that was the guitars. I didn't see anything with organs on the instruments. You had keyboards, so yeah, Glenn Adams on keyboard. So the rhythm part, yeah, I couldn't tell if that was that might have been guitar and keyboard played together, but yeah, the melodica just made that tune so eerie and so just filled the mood. It's so eerie and so mysterious, and the beat kind of matches that with this sort of uplifting, very simplistic, just positivity, and the sun is shining, let's go enjoy life, let's go find each other, find me, I'll find you. So yeah, very short, 2 minutes, fantastic. So 1971, and then just to get into a little bit of Bob Marley here, so just around that time, just to give some background and stuff like that. So where are we at? Harlem River Drive, Fela Kuti. Okay, so over 1970 and 71, the band worked with Lee Scratch Perry, producing the band's second and third albums, Soul Rebels and Soul Revolution Part 2. So this was their third album. And then obviously they put out a bunch of singles. You can hear very early stuff with Bob Marley and some of the other stuff. So during this time, the Upsetters members, Aston family man Barrett, bass, and his brother Carlton, were recruited as instrumental backing for the Wailers. It was said in Jamaica that you make a record, you get $20. If it sells 1 million, you still get $20. But the Jamaican radio stations were not playing their music. The principled Wailers didn't play the game, not for them. The glad handing of DJs and the greasing of people's palms, they were similarly ignored in America, where the black radio was booming with soul and funk, but not reggae. In 1972, the Wailers had their first hit outside Jamaica when Johnny Nash covered their song Steer It Up, which became a UK hit. Yet here they were in my office one day in 1972, acting on Bunny's belief that I owed them, waiting to see what I could offer them. They showed up unannounced, plonking themselves down in my modest accommodations on the second floor at Basing Street, where there was a couch for people to sit on and a record player for me to listen to music. They were immediately something else, these three. Strong characters. They did not walk in like losers. They were defeated by being flat broke. To the contrary, they exuded power and self-possession. Bob especially had a certain something. He had small and slight, but especially good-looking and charismatic. Bunny and Pete had a cool, laid-back nonchalance. As I took the measure of them, I thought, this is the real thing, and their timing was good. Jimmy Cliff had just walked out on me a week earlier. Maybe it was kismet, I thought. Just when Jimmy stormed out, Bob, Pete, and Bunny strolled in. I knew I could do something with them, move them away from where they were and make their music attractive to college kids who were otherwise ignorant or indifferent to black music. I asked the Wailers what they wanted to happen with their music, and Bunny said they deserved radio play in America, and Bob and Peter nodding in convinced agreement. Their working relationship with Lee Scratch Perry had not ended well. They thought the proceeds of the terrific work they were doing with him in the early 70s was going to be split 50-50, but when it came down to it, Lee offered them only 10%. I did not want to be another part of the music business that kept tripping them up and letting them down. And so, yeah, that was the producer that got together with them in the UK in 1972 and basically got them outside of Jamaica and into American audiences. And I forget what his name was. Yeah, I had it somewhere in there, but I didn't include it. So, but anyway, there's some great stuff on this period. Anyway, yeah, this is to me, a very golden period at 70, 71. I mean, they had many golden periods, obviously, but some of the tunes, Sun is Shining and Soul Rebel, always been some of my sort of really early favorites. Just from their, the sort of power, the sort of, just the sort of vibe that they have. Anyway, that is another 1971 with Lee Scratch Perry and Bob Marley and the Wailers. Sun is Shining on Soul Revolution Part 2. Okay, I appreciate everyone. That was fantastic. I hope you enjoyed that. It was very short. Obviously, Bob Marley's huge. It's something where, if there was something, where would I hit Bob Marley again? I mean, there's so many good albums. It's something where he's just a ubiquitous. I don't necessarily need to. I mean, he'll come up again, I think, as far as, either world music or if I do something on other Jamaican music. I certainly could do that. Look into something. Do a medley of other, hits, from Jamaica, where you could kind of go through. I can go through, kind of the Trojan records, and just really pick out some key tunes, from some different stuff. So there's definitely some reggae that I would like to do a little reggae section on our medley on some different tunes, and maybe some ones that I haven't heard as well. And then maybe Bob Marley will find his way into that, But other than that, he's just ubiquitous. He's just, if you know about him, if you haven't heard about him at this point, it's probably not something you like. I have met people that I've worked with that that just don't really like reggae music, don't see the attraction of it, and I don't understand that. It's kind of like, I don't know. Everybody's got their own perceptions and things, so it's not much to have an argument about that or anything, a discussion about it. But it's just kind of confusing. I can't understand the why it wouldn't be appealing. Just it's so light and effortless and full of life and jubilation, and also just great words. Of great meaningful words of hope and struggle and everything with that. So it's just got it's sometimes just the perfect thing to listen to. For so many different periods of life. Anyway, we'll get on to it, and I appreciate you all being here. We're going to continue on to the last 1971 world music, and we're going to try to end it with a bang here. And again, hope you feel free to comment on anything, and always love to hear from you. I pretty much try to contact with everybody that reaches out. And again, so I have community tab. Check out, I have 3 polls going on for a full album listen. So I really want, I'd love to hear everybody's, input on that as far as what they want to listen to. So there's a Joni Mitchell poll, there's a sort of prog rockish poll, and then there's sort of a soul music poll with like Funkadelic, Gil Scott-Heron, War, and I forget what the last one. I think there's some that don't really fit on there a little bit, but I kind of threw like an oddball in the mix somewhere. But yeah, please go on the community tab and just vote for those, and so I can do those in the future. And anyway, appreciate it. And moving on to the next one in the future, yeah, we're going to jump on a whole Canterbury scene. If you're not sure what that is, it's basically some of the beginnings of some of the prog rock, but from the UK. And prog rock mixed with, psychedelic, mixed with jazz. So it's kind of all over the place. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff that I haven't, but I've done a lot of research on it and trying to get, as many input from the bands, as much stuff from the groups of that time over, say, 5 years as I can. And there's a lot of mix and match with the musicians and the bands jumping around from one band to the next. So there's a lot of different, in the family tree. There's a lot of branches on that family tree. So it's a really interesting period, a really interesting set of groups and styles of music. So it's really adventurous style. So I'm going to go into a whole series on the Canterbury Tales, on the Canterbury scene. And in the future, but I'll have all the types of music. And again, have a great day, folks. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.